Hi, hello, and welcome to Lily's Library. So today we're going to be doing my April reading vlog. Now we are already a little bit into the month because I have already done another reading vlog for this month. I did a kind of 24-hour reading challenge. It didn't quite end up being 24 hours, but we got pretty close, and in that I managed to finish 3 different books. So we are already 3 books down for the month. So I'll link that video down below if you want to watch it. But in this video, we're going to be going throughout the remainder of the month, and I will be focusing on 4 books off my TBR. Now I do have more than this still left on my TBR, but these are the ones I'm going to focus on filming. So we're just going to go through them. So we're going to start with the books I am currently already reading. The first one is Human Acts by Hong Kong. This one is actually based off of and inspired by the Gwangju uprising, which happened in the 1980s, I believe. But this is told throughout different parts and it skips through different years. At the moment, we're starting in 1980, which is when the uprising happened, and it's set, I believe, just exactly or directly after the uprising itself. This seems like it's going to be a very heavy and beautiful read at the same time, and it's definitely something I don't really know too much about Korean history, so it sounds like it's going to be a very eye-opening read, and I really enjoyed Vegetarian. It has been almost 10 years since I read it, but I'm excited to read another Hong Kong. Then I'm also doing a buddy read with friends of a very chunky book, and that is The Strength of the Few. This is so long. This is like 700 something pages. This is the sequel to The Will of the Many by James Islington, and I've read a tiny bit of this. I was hoping to get up to 100 pages last night when I was reading it, but I only got up to the 62 page mark. So my goal is to try and read 100 pages this afternoon and today, and I'm going to try and get to this as quick as I can. If I do read 100 pages a day, it'll only take me 7 days. So that's kind of my goal and what I'm aiming for, but we'll see if that one actually happens. But I can't really explain too much of what this is about, seeing as it is a sequel and it completely changes directions from where book 1 was. But The Will of the Many is a Roman-inspired sci-fi fantasy. It's set in a world where people have will and they can cede it to others. And the more people that are higher up, the more will that is ceded to them. And our main character, he has never ceded will to anyone, and it's not something he really agrees with. He does not like this empire at all. And he is sent to this college to find out some of the things that happened there and about why this person's brother went missing and was killed, and to find the deep and dark secret within this college. It's very interesting, and I'm very confused by book 2 just because it changes so much, but I'm so excited to see where this goes. I am a little bit nervous because I have heard quite a few people saying it's not as good as book 1, but we'll see how we go with it. Then I have 2 books I've yet to start. I'm hoping to actually get to one of these this weekend after finishing Human Acts, and that is Blood of Dragons by Robin Hobb. But this is the 4th and final book in the Rainwild Chronicles, so I'm very excited to see where this goes. I think after this though, I might take a break from my Realm of the Elderlings reading, at least for a month, just because I feel like I need to focus on some other books. And I'm also very intimidated by how long those books there are. They all look so chunky, and I think after finishing the Strength of the Few, I'm going to want a little break from longer books. So I'm hoping to try and start this one this weekend or early next week. And then the final book I'm going to be focusing on is Vampires of El Norte. This is by Isabella Canas. I've been really wanting a horror lately, and I've heard really good things about this and this author in general, so I'm very excited to read this one. This is kind of like, it's a supernatural western. That's kind of all I know. It's set on the Texas-Mexico border, and it's got star-crossed lovers that face off. That's kind of all I know. I kind of want to go into it blind. I don't think I'm ever going to read the blurb, but this isn't insanely long. It's about 300-ish pages, so I think I definitely want to try and get to it soon. We'll see how I go. I might get bored of fantasy, or not get bored, but I might get fatigued from fantasy. I might find Human Acts too heavy, so I feel like this could be a good kind of like break between those ones because it is so vastly different from my other reads. But these are the 4 books I am prioritizing for this vlog, so I'm very excited for all of these. I will update you more once I've actually read one of these or have a lot more progress done and more thoughts and feelings. So I bought more books. Yeah, I went to a op shop this morning. It was mostly a secondhand bookshop and DVD shop. We got a few extra DVDs and stuff. I managed to find season 1 and 2 of Supernatural, as well as season 3 and 4 of Skins, which is very exciting. And then we got Scary Movie and a Final Fantasy animated DVD as well. Like, I think it's an animated movie. But those were very cool. But I also found a few books there and also went to some other shops and bought books. So we're gonna go through the actual books that I found. So as you would have seen in my last monthly reading vlog, I found a bunch of the X-Files, I think it was the last one. Yeah, I found a bunch of the X-Files books at a secondhand book sale, and I managed to find 2 other books to do with the X-Files. So I have got volume 1 of the Book of the Unexplained. This is X-Files companion book, and then I also managed to find volume 2 as well. So they're just like these big hardcover books talking about the show and different things in it. And yeah, I'm very excited about both of these. I love that we've got photos of Scully and Mulder on the back as well. So I'm very excited to have these. I just rearranged some of my bookshelf to fit them in. But then I also got one more book from the secondhand bookshop, and that was When Sleeping Women Awake. This is by Emma Payin. This is one I've been wanting to read for ages, and finding this for less than $10 was an absolute steal. So I'm very excited. But I know this is set in Hong Kong in the 1940s during the Japanese occupation. So I'm very excited for this one. I've heard such great things, and Emma is an Australian Cantonese author, I'm pretty sure. So I'm very intrigued by this one. It's got an absolutely gorgeous cover as well. After that, we went to a bookshop, which I did film a tiny bit of. I didn't film in the secondhand bookshop or the manga store just because there was quite a few people around, so I didn't really want to do it. But I got 2 books and an extra little thing at the normal bookshop that I went to. The first one is The Poet Empress by Shen Tao, which is one of my favorite reads so far this year. I read this as an e-arc and really loved it, so I very much wanted to get a physical copy because I've been thinking about it non-stop, and I'll probably end up rereading it. But I just really needed a copy of it in my hands, especially because I know I'm going to be referring back to this a lot. And I think this cover is just absolutely stunning and breathtaking, and I really am glad to have a copy of this. I'm just going to rearrange my bookshelves and find somewhere that I can put this and maybe display it a bit better. Then I also got this little Read Concise guide. It's like a little pocket guide. This one is on wildflowers of Australia. I really love these. I've been wanting to get one that's like for edible plants and stuff, for like foraging or like bush tucker. I think that would be really cool to learn about, but I thought this would be good to keep around with me, and we're going to Tassie in a few months. So I thought this would be good to keep around with me on our hikes, and I can help identify different flowers and everything. I love learning about different things like that, so I thought it would be very cute, probably kind of unnecessary, but I think I could get use out of it. But I'm going to keep this in my bag with me, so if I ever do see things, I can identify them. Then the last thing I got from that bookshop was actually something I saw a few weeks ago when we were there, and I really wanted to get one, but I went through and actually looked at them properly today, and they are like these pen bookmarks. I got this really cute fish one. It just kind of reminds me of something that would be in Animal Crossing. I don't think this fish is in Animal Crossing, but I really love it. It's really cool. I don't know if you're meant to take this little tag off. It's where the actual tag for the product was on, but I think the ribbon maybe might help me with finding it. It's also got a hole in it, so I feel like it's meant to be there. But this is literally just a little ballpoint pen that is also a bookmark. I'm a tiny bit nervous about putting it into a book with the pen being like uncovered, but I think it should be okay. I'll test it out on like some older books that I don't really care about marking, and we'll see, but I just thought it was absolutely adorable, and you can never have too many bookmarks or pens. Then lastly, I went to a manga store. Like I said, this was an anime and that kind of like sort of store. They've got so much cool stuff. I was almost going to buy a Mau Mau figure from the Apothecary Diaries because they had one that was really cute. I was actually looking for it in Japan, but never ended up getting it there for some reason. But I passed on it for now because there's another figure of her that I would prefer that I have never been able to find, but we might go back for it eventually. As for the things I did end up getting, I got 2 things that were honestly kind of expensive, but I think worth it because I do love supporting a more independent store like that. But the first one was the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. This is volume 3. This only released in Australia a couple months ago. I have already read volume 3 because I read it digitally, but I will probably reread this one because I love it and think it is absolutely adorable, and I love this series so much. I cannot wait for volume 4 to be translated and released. And then I got Madoka Magica. This is Puella Madoka Magica. This is the complete omnibus edition. This is something I've always wanted to watch and read. I've started watching it so many times but never actually finished it. So I thought I would get this omnibus because I've never actually seen this like in a printed edition anywhere. So I thought it'd be very cool to add to the collection and to read it this way and then go back and watch it. But yeah, but this was some of my haul. I'm gonna go and find some room for it. I've been rearranging my sci-fi shelf behind me to try and make room for the X-Files things. You can see I've had to resort to stacking another book on top there just because of these chunky James Islington books, but I might shuffle things around later. I'm hoping to get another bookshelf, like a thinner one of these ones from IKEA, to sit in between these 2 shelves. I think that'll help create more space. I'm also contemplating whether I do actually replace these entirely with the darker brown version of them, because I kind of hate the white now. I kind of want it to have that darker look, and I think it'll make my books look a bit nicer. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the white anymore. Or whether I should just buy a bunch of contact paper and stick it all on top to make it look like I've got darker shelves. But the only issue with that is that I'll have to completely empty these, and then also like try and get the backing bit in here, because this has obviously got a white backing. See if I can somehow cover that with it. I'll see how I go. It's just going to be so expensive to get more bookshelves, and like either way I'd have to empty them, so maybe it'll be time to empty and clean, and I'll see what I can convince my partner to help me do. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna go and reorganize my bookshelves to try and fit these in somewhere, and then I'm probably gonna go and play Animal Crossing for a bit, because I was playing it this morning because the fishing tourney's on, so I'll go back to doing that, and then maybe do some more reading this afternoon. I'm hoping to get to the halfway mark of the Strength of the Few this weekend, and maybe get halfway through Human Acts, if not finish it. But I'm not liking my chances of that, just because it is quite a heavy book, and heavy books do take me a while to get through, just because I know it's going to be so emotionally devastating, and I've been very exhausted lately, and the Strength of the Few is already hurting my brain to read, that I don't know if I can also read something that is emotionally going to hurt me. So we'll see how we go with that. I might end up pausing it for a tiny bit and reading something else instead, like the Vampires of El Norte, because that's a horror Western vampire book. So we'll see how we go, but yeah, I'll stop rambling and get back to organizing. I've managed to do a bit of reading this weekend, so I thought we would do a little update on how I'm going with everything. So I have managed to make it to part 2 of Strength of the Few, and I've read a few chapters past that. I'm nearly on page 300. I'm enjoying it so far. I still think it's a little bit confusing. I feel like a character got brought up that we had no introduction of previously, but maybe I missed it. I've been really bad at reading this specifically like late at night when I'm laying in bed and about to go to sleep, and I don't think that's working out for me, just because I think my brain is not as switched on as it should be at that, or like for reading this book when it comes to that time of night, you know? So I think I'm going to try and make more progress. I'd really like to finish it in the next week, try and get it done by next weekend. So I'm going to try and read a good chunk every afternoon or evening. This is going to be my strictly like couch book. I'm not going to be reading it in bed, otherwise I think I'm going to get confused and not understand what's happening. So I think I'm going to try and read a little bit more of it this afternoon, because I've yet to read any of it today. I read 2 chapters last week. I read 2 chapters last night, and was just struggling a little bit. So I think I will be sitting down and trying to read a little bit more this afternoon. I would love if I could get to page 400, but I just really don't think that's possible. So any progress I can make really on this would be good. Now, the book I really have made progress on is the arc I'm reading on my Kobo. I can't remember if I've spoken about it properly, and that one is Love Galaxy. This is a new sci-fi romance thriller that's coming out. I'm really enjoying this. This will be out by the time you're seeing this if you're in the US. It doesn't come out in Australia for a few months still, but I'm definitely going to be buying a physical copy when it does release. But I'm having so much fun with this. I love the dynamic between all of the characters. I am like a little bit scared and nervous for what is going to happen with Nikki and Temmie. Nikki is the twin brother out of the prince and princess, and I'm just super nervous about what's happening because he seems so sweet and nice, and I don't want him to get his heart broken or to get hurt, but it kind of seems like that might happen. So I'm not looking forward to that, but we'll see. But I've just got up to the murders. The first person has died, so we're really getting into it. I really kind of just want to only read that and not read A Strength of the Few, but I don't know. I'm going to see how I go. I might try and read another chapter of Strength and then see how much I need to read a day for the next week if I want to finish it by next weekend. But yeah, I'm getting close to halfway through Love Galaxy, nowhere near halfway through Strength of the Few yet, but we will get there eventually. I've yet to really read anything of Human Acts. It's just very, very heavy and a lot. So I would like to also try and finish it in the next week, but I think I might just try and read a chapter every now and then because it is such a emotionally heavy read. It's just really tough and a lot, and I'm kind of not really in the right headspace or mood for it. So it's something I'm not trying to force myself to read, and otherwise I'm just not going to have a good time and it's just going to be too hard on me. I've also started listening to an audiobook again. This is one I actually paused from a few months ago now, and that is Entwined by H.M. Long. It is a new book in a duology. This is a historical fantasy. I don't remember the era of which it's meant to be set in. I think it's like Gaslamp historical fantasy. I don't know if I'm right with that, but it's fun. I'm over halfway now. I think I'm a tiny little bit confused. I'm on chapter 20. I feel like I don't even know how to explain it, to be honest, but I am enjoying it. I'm going to continue listening to it. I might actually end up downloading a copy of the ebook and reading it that way and listening at the same time, but I am really enjoying the audiobook narration. I just feel like I paused too long, so maybe I need to go back. I don't know. I think I'll pick it up and I just need to actually like listen to it properly. But I didn't actually realize how much progress I made in it before I started listening again. So I'm definitely going to be listening to a heck of a lot more because I'm very interested to see where it goes, especially now that our main character is out of prison and kind of on her way to finding out the mystery at the center of this. But I feel like we're not going to get a whole heap of answers since this is a duology. I feel like we're going to get a pretty big cliffhanger. So we'll see how we go. But I am enjoying all of that. Today I also filmed a few extra videos, edited some. I'm trying to stay a little bit ahead of my upload schedule on here just to make it easier on myself, and that way if I do need to take a little break, I kind of have that buffer of it, but we'll see how we go. But I am going to go and chill on the couch and read for a little bit before I need to start dinner and everything. But yeah, that is where we're up to. Recently finished reading Love Galaxy and I really loved this one. I've already got a full review up on my Instagram, so that'll be linked down below if you want to see it, but I just had such a good time with this one. I can't remember if I really updated too much throughout the reading since I did read a lot of it during the work week and didn't really have time to film anything, but I had such a fun time with this. This is a sci-fi romance debut. It's the first book in a series and it is just so fun. It's a reality dating show where they've got contestants from all over the galaxy that are participating to try and win the hands of the heirs to the galaxy and to the empire and everything. So we've got twins. There is Prince Nix and Princess Spy, and I absolutely love all of the dynamics between all the characters so much. It was so fun. But we follow Temmie, who is from one of the fringe galaxies or fringe planets or something, or systems, and she is basically chosen to go on to try and be with Nikki and everything, and his sister Spy is paying her to be there. So if she makes it to the finale, she'll get 2 million credits, or like whatever their monetary system is, and that'll help her family. And it was just so interesting seeing the relationships grow and bloom, and I loved the connection and relationship between Spy and Temmie and seeing that grow and just change and progress. It was really sweet, and I love kind of Temmie exploring her sexuality with it. But this is so fun. It's also a murder mystery throughout the show. Some of the contestants start dying and Temmie is trying to piece together what happened while not telling anyone about what's going on because it's being kept secret. And it is just so insane. I loved the discussions around politics as well and class and everything, and it was just a very fascinating and fun and just such a compelling read. Like when I wasn't reading it, I was thinking about it and dreaming about it, which is always the sign of a perfect book. So I have finished that one. I have goals to finish 2 other books this weekend, but we'll see how we go because it is already almost 3 o'clock on Saturday, but I really want to read both of these ones. So my main priority is definitely going to be Strength of the Few by James Islington. I am on I think this is chapter 50. Roman numerals always break my brain. But my goal today is to get up to the 550 page mark, which is, I think, doable. I'm currently on 437, so I've got to read just over 100 pages, which I can do. It's just going to take me a while because this is quite dense, but I really want to finish it this weekend. So I'm really going to try and get up to that this afternoon. But me and my partner are planning on watching Catching Fire later, so we'll see how much time I have until then. But I'm really enjoying this one. It's kind of feels like it's the first book in a series in a way because of how much has changed from book 1. It feels like we're really in a whole new world almost, but it is just really interesting and fascinating and confusing, and I'm so glad that I'm buddy reading it with people. But I do really want to try and get this done so I can use the last bit of the month to focus on some other books. I'm also hoping to finish Human Acts by Han Kang. I don't like my chances of finishing it, to be honest, because it's such an emotionally heavy book and it's just quite hard to read because of that. So I'm about 75 pages in. It's only just over 200 pages, but it's just taking me a very long time. So if I can tonight as well, I'd like to get up to the 100 page mark. Like I said, it won't really take me too much longer, hopefully. It is just finishing the rest of the chapter that I'm on. I've got my little tabs here as well for the different chapter marks, just because they are quite long chapters and I like to know how long I've got, and I feel like pulling off the tabs is its own form of motivation, you know? But I am really enjoying it. It is very emotionally heavy. The first 2 chapters especially were a lot, and the one I'm in at the moment is heavy in its own way. It's not the same as the first 2, but this is going to be a very emotionally devastating book. It's inspired by and kind of based on the Gwangju student uprising, which I haven't actually learned too much about besides this book, and it's definitely making me want to read and learn a whole lot more about that uprising and kind of what sparked it and what happened afterwards. But I do think it is really interesting. This will be the second Han Kang book I've read. Those 2 are my goals for the weekend. We also just went to some of the little free libraries around town. I think I only filmed one of them, and it was the Shire one. It was really cute. I didn't end up taking anything from it, but I left quite a few books there. Yeah, that's kind of it. I also actually recently got a new phone case, if you can see it. It's a burger one, and it's really cute, and it's got dragons, and it's like a kind of medieval fantasy inspired one, but I had a clear one, but it's not very protective, and I've been dropping my phone lots, so I wanted something that was a bit more protective, and I think this is the one. But I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna go back downstairs and do some reading. Like I said, I really want to prioritize Strength of the Few. I thought I downloaded the audiobook on my Kobo because there was one included in Kobo Plus or whatever, but it was actually a German edition and I didn't realize. I probably should have checked that before I downloaded it, but oh well, I didn't spend any money on that, so I returned it. But I do also want to play a bit of Animal Crossing and maybe Pacopia, because I haven't played like any of that since the first time, but I've been obsessed with seeing everyone's videos of Tomodachi Life, and my friends have been playing it so much lately. So I'm also contemplating whether we go to the shops tomorrow and I buy that. But I might hold on. But for now, I'm gonna go and do some reading. Okay, so it is a new day now. I didn't actually end up getting to where I'd hoped to in Strength of the Few last night. I just ended up being really tired after watching the movie, and I've had really bad headaches lately, so it's just been a bit of a struggle sometimes to read. But I'm currently on page 338. So I am into part 3 now, which is very exciting. So much is happening. I feel like I'm starting to understand things a lot more and actually remember a lot more. I still think I really should have reread Will of the Many before I started this one, but we'll be okay. It's fine. But I'm really hoping to try and finish it today, but we'll see how we go. As I said, I've had bad headaches, so we're going to see if that holds off and makes it any easier to read. Also, sorry about the lighting. I know it's backlit. It's not the best. It makes my hair look super frizzy, but I'm too lazy to move things around and to make a change. But this morning I haven't actually done too much reading yet. I probably should have, but I was just kind of playing Animal Crossing on my Switch, but I ended up buying another Switch game and thought we would talk about it because it is going to be my reward for finishing Strength of the Few. Maybe I'll play a little bit after lunch, but I picked up Tomodachi Life. I've been wanting this so bad. I always wanted the DS game as a kid, but my parents would never get it for me because it was too expensive and I was not good at saving up my pocket money to get it myself. So I'm very happy to finally have it, and I've seen so much about it. My friends have been playing it a lot lately and been sending me things from their islands, and I cannot wait to play it. It looks so fun and chaotic, and I'm just so excited. So I'm thinking about the first meet I'm going to create. It might end up being me and my partner, or I might do characters like Gojo or something. I'm also thinking like the Fitz and the Fool, maybe also like Gideon and Harrow, but I will figure it out and add a whole bunch of me's and characters to it, and I'm going to add my friends to it as well, obviously. But at the moment, I'm just going to sit down and read for a bit before lunch. I just made myself a very full cup of tea. I'm going to sit here and read for a bit and drink my tea, and then yeah, we'll see how we go after lunch. I want to try and get up to page 600 before I do start Tomodachi Life, but we'll see if that does happen. I don't actually have that much left, but this book just takes me a while to read, so we're going to see how we go. I think we're going to end the reading vlog here because I finally finished reading The Strength of the Few. I had a really good time with this. I think I did really struggle a bit with it, and I'm glad that I temporarily DNF'd it at the end of last year and gave it another go this year. But I do really think I should have reread Will of the Many before I dove into this one, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I just missed and maybe didn't really probably connect because I hadn't reread it. But I think before the third book comes out, which I think is meant to be sometime next year, I'm going to be rereading both of these because I will definitely need to have everything else fresh in my mind when we go into the final one of these books. But it's so hard to talk about this without like spoiling things, especially with how much this book changes up things from the first one. But I just really enjoyed it. There were some moments that were really, really heartbreaking and sad. There was a chapter that the author had warned me about when I met him at the book launch, and I forgot which chapter that was, and then I read it and was absolutely devastated. But I had a really good time with this one. It wasn't quite the 5-star book I had hoped it would be. Maybe on a reread it will be. There was something with it that I just struggled with. Like, I did read it at a decent pace, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to put into words. But I didn't get as much reading done as I hoped I would in the last half or the last bit of the month, because I ended up starting watching Pursuit of Jade, which is a Chinese drama. I don't think I filmed any of my watching it, but I've been really enjoying it. It's really cute and fun, and I'm so obsessed, so I need to try and stop watching it so I can read more books in May, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that is it for this reading vlog. Let me know if you also struggle to find time between watching shows and reading books, because I feel like it can be so hard to dedicate time to both of them at times, you know? I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense anymore. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.